Look, proving celebrities are very relatable, Jennifer Aniston has opened up about her struggles with sleepwalking.
The Friends star has admitted she used to set house alarms off and lost hours of sleep before finally reaching out to get the help she needed to kick the habit. Sleep psychologist from the Sleep Health Foundation, Hailey Meaklim, joins us now with more. Good morning, Hailey. Thank you for joining us. Why does sleepwalking affect some people and not others?
Yeah, well, most of us will have sleepwalked when we were little. Kids have a lot more sleepwalking episodes, and it tends to disappear as we get older. So only about 4% of adults sleepwalk, and it really has a big genetic component, so it tends to run in families. But there are triggers, so things like stress, I guess disrupted sleep, not getting being really sleep deprived, but even things like alcohol can really trigger them and make them worse.
What about the wives' tale about you never wake a sleepwalker? Is that true? Because it could, I don't know why.
They get stuck in the dream or something.
Yeah. Look, it's ideal not to. It's not dangerous if you do. But as you can imagine, they're deep asleep when this is happening. And if you've ever been woken up out of deep sleep, you get a big jolt here. And if they're in an unknown location, it can be quite disorienting and jarring, and they can be quite stressed upon awakening.
Right.
So it's best if you can sort of gently guide them back towards safety, back towards their bedroom, and just help them kind of keep out of danger.
So what are the most common dangers or effects of sleepwalking? Because, I mean, we're being quite lighthearted, but I imagine there are quite serious consequences sometimes.
Yeah, well, for many people, it's just quite simple behaviours. It might even just be sitting up in bed, wandering around the room. Little things like bumps and bruises can be some dangers, and even a bit of a whack to the bed partner at times. But for people that have a little bit more kind of complex behaviours, kind of leaving the house can be a bit of a risk. So it might be kind of locking doors, hiding keys, that sort of thing. But if people are having a lot of sleepwalking episodes, they're not really getting good quality restful sleep. So feeling really sleepy during the day, loss of concentration. But they can also become really worried about these events happening. So become quite fearful of sleep and start to avoid sleep, or, kind of doing so, going away on holidays because they might have them. So it can be quite disruptive to the person's lives, unfortunately.
So can you reduce it or prevent sleepwalking if you are someone who suffers from it?
You can. So there's lots of, healthy sleep habits you can do to reduce the risk of having them. So number one is reducing stress. So anything that kind of stresses our mind and body out can make these more likely to happen. So exercising, practicing mindfulness meditation, kind of keeping your workload pretty manageable is a great first step. But probably the biggest one to do is avoid becoming too sleep deprived. Now, in our modern day world, this is pretty tricky. But if we can get the Sleep Health Foundation's recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep, most nights, and this is a way that we can help stop them coming. The more sleep deprived we are, the more sleepwalking and other types of odd sleep behaviours that we'll have. So, if you have any problems sleeping, check out the Sleep Health Foundation's resources on their website to kind of help you get the sleep you need. And just otherwise, things like not drinking alcohol. Alcohol can really trigger them. It sort of sedates the brain but keeps our sort of motor areas awake. So, if you're having them, I would suggest kind of cutting back on the alcohol as well.
All right.
Thanks so much, Hailey.
Thanks, Hailey. We appreciate your insight.
No worries. Thanks for having me.